Honorable Deputy Speaker, sir, from the replies received from the Honorable Deputy Chief Minister, we can see that there is a sudden escalation of incidents across the border with Assam. Just in 6 months, there are already 24 incidents in 1920s. Prior to that, 18, 19, 16, and in 17, 18, 15. Now, sir, I don't know, since we have a confusion of authorization here, we actually wanted to know as to whether the government is still interested to continue with the dialogues at the Chief Minister level, considering the escalation of the incidents across the interstate borders. Sir, if that is the case, sir, then why is the delay, sir? People have been clamoring for the resuming of the talks at the CM level, but then it's been more than 18 months since the dispensation has taken over. But then why is the delay, sir?
Sir, in fact, with this particular issue, we all know, all the honourable members knows also the sensitivity of this issue. And from time to time, from government to government, this issue came up, and it keep coming up, and it is going to come up again if no solution solved. But sir, I just wanted to say here that the government of the day, we are really serious about this issue, which is a very long pending issue. And also recently, I already replied that on the 21st June 2019, talks were held in the level of chief secretaries, of both the chief secretaries, and in fact, the meeting that held on that day was very, very fruitful. So, sir, again, the government has already decided to have a dialogue in the level of Chief Minister. And from our government, letter has been sent to the Honorable Chief Minister of Assam to fix the convenient date for having a further dialogue on this particular issue. And I hope, sir, very soon, maybe the date will be fixed and we will be able to again continue in solving this very pertinent problem.
In reply to question number 4B, the respective DCs and SPs have immediately took up issues with their respective counterparts in Assam to diffuse the problem. Now, sir, it is experienced and also reported that when these interstate border talks happen at the district level, from the Assam side, the senior officers from the government, they all come and participate. But from Meghalaya side, it is left to the district officials to handle the issue, which in fact becomes very embarrassing not only for the state, but it also, the officers at the district level also are always under defensive mode, because the attack comes in terms of documentation, in terms of procedure, and in terms of protocol. Everything is violated, sir, because senior level government officials come from the state government of Assam, and we are left only with district officials. Similar incidences we have seen when we were found lacking in our response to the incidents in Ribhoi, incidents in West Khasi Hills, where again the properly to ensure that the response team from the state level immediately takes part in all the interstate boundary talks. Because leaving it to the district officials, we find it very, very pathetic, and at the same time, they are also found wanting, because they again have to take the permission of the state government to reply to or to respond to any kind of a situation if arises at that particular kind of discussion, sir.
Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, Thank you so much. The honorable member from Umroi has made a suggestion to the government and it is noted down. But at the same time, I just wanted again to further clarify on this. See, as I've already replied, that on the 21st June 2019, in the talk between Chief Secretary and Chief Secretary, they arrived to few decisions. Number one is there should be OC level talks in case if any problem arises within their jurisdiction. Because if small issues is ultimately sent to the government, maybe it takes time. So the best decision they taken is in their respective jurisdiction, OC level, they will have a meeting immediately with the counterpart, and if possible, they sort it out over there itself. In case if this issue cannot be solved in their level, it goes up to the level of the Deputy Commissioner, and if the issue cannot be solved in the level of the Deputy Commissioners, again, it will come up to the Chief Secretary level and ultimately to the government. However, sir, as I've already replied, we are serious about this issue, and the suggestion made by the honourable member from Umroi is noted down, and I am sure also very soon the talk between the chief ministers of both the state will be held very soon, and I am sure in the talk which is to be held shortly, I think we will be able to come out with some solution on these issues.
Thank you, sir. Honorable Deputy Speaker, sir. I also rise to participate in this very important short duration discussion as brought by the honorable member from MLA. Just to add on a few points, sir. Since most of the points have been mentioned by the honorable member from MLA and also extensively by the honorable member from Assam. Sir, I also join hands to commend the efforts taken up by the Anti-Narcotics Task Force across the state, especially a special mention for the ANTF of East Khasiels who have taken such an effort to apprehend the culprits and at the same time to tackle the drug menace which has become a social menace. It has affected families, it has affected the lives of many youths, and the alarming rise of this menace is something that we cannot ignore. So, the prevention and rehabilitation aspects of this menace needs to be worked on, and it has to be worked on in speedy time. Lack of awareness has become the problem because unknowingly people have been lured into drugs just because the modus operandi of the smugglers, of the small-time operators is not yet known to many. Just lack of awareness of how these people operate. The police department and the ANTF, I think they are well aware of how these people work. Perhaps it is about time that the modus operandi of all these people should be exposed through social media. That will help the social groups, women and youth groups that are coming out in large numbers across the state to tackle this menace. The traditional institutions, which include our Dolois, headmen and Nokumas, can be brought on board. At the same time, the educational institutions also can use these information to give awareness to the students in schools and colleges. Until unless, sir, we know how these people operate and how they try to lure our citizens into this kind of a menace, it will not be possible for us only to look only on the efforts of the ANTF or the police department. So, juvenile cases, as being said by the honorable member from Assam, is a case of concern. As of now, they are being sent to the observation homes. But then sadly, the observation homes do not have neither the manpower nor the facility to treat such kind of cases. Juvenile cases is an alarming rise. So as long as we ignore this problem, perhaps they will be the most vulnerable lot who will be attacked by the perpetrators of such crimes. Therefore, sir, we need to look into this aspect and provide a system that will be more affordable, a system that will cater to all age groups, and also bring on board all the stakeholders. As of now, sir, sadly, even the legislators also are not being brought on board in the efforts that are being taken by any of the department. If we talk about our Umroi district, we have only come to know through the order that has been given by the Honorable High Court for setting up of the NTF and the phone numbers that have been listed in the newspapers. Apart from that information, we don't have any kind of information being given to us. I think everybody is aware that the legislators have a lot of platforms to give awareness to people, talk to them, and at the same time help the government in tackling this menace. But then if we are also not being brought on board, sir, I think the question of bringing on board other stakeholders, especially social groups and traditional institutions, I think is still a far cry. So I would like to appeal that to strengthen the efforts to tackle this menace, we should also be brought on board, and at the same time strengthen the way the NTF works at the district level, not only through the additional manpower, but at the same time through several consultative meetings, some kind of monitoring meetings can be held, where we are also being exposed to the efforts taken by the NTF, at the same time being made aware on the modus operandi of all the various perpetrators of such crimes in the various districts. So these are a few suggestions that I would like to place forward so that the social menace and the ramifications that we are seeing through the perpetrators of the drugs, and it has affected thousands of families. We appeal to the state government, sir, that they should come up with a drug policy, at the same time bring up cohesive efforts, take us all on board to tackle this menace. So, Honorable Deputy Speaker, sir, in the reply of the Honorable Deputy CM, we have been informed that the drug policy is in the final draft stage. I can recall, sir, that in the last autumn session, I had put up a start question, and the Honorable Social Welfare Minister had already informed that even at that point in time, the policy is in the draft stage. So, from one autumn session, we have come to another one. And in this period of time, neither consultations have been had with the law department, nor with the police department, as has been told by the honorable member from East Shillong. So, sir, we have lost a lot of time. And in this time, sir, the menace has only grown. At the same time, we seem to have an absence of direction here. Rehab centers still being thought of, de-addiction centers not yet in place, and the entire approach seems to be in tatters and in silos. So if this is the way things happen, for 1 year, sir, we have not seen any movement, perhaps only the file being pushed from one table to the other. Maybe, sir, it will take another 1 full year to just put the policy in place. So this needs a strong commitment, and until and unless a strong commitment comes from the state government, sir, I think we'll again see next year same discussion, same discourse, and same motion. So I'd like an assurance from the government, sir, as to the timeline to be fixed for the laying out of the drug policy and for final consultations to be had, so that we at least see the rollout of the policy to streamline all these problems that we are seeing now, sir.
Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, Once again, I'm so thankful to the honorable member from Umroi, George Lungro, who shows the concerns of the delay in putting the drugs policy in place. But let me reassure you once again that it is going to be done very soon. Consultation will be made immediately, and thereafter drugs policy will be in place, especially in view of this menace which we already discussed, all of us. Therefore, I once again reassure the honorable members that the draft policy will be finalized and then will be in place very soon.